Welcome, everyone. Namaste. My name is Marije, and I will offer you a 45-minute practice of mindful movement, just some gentle stretches for the entire body, just some gentle breathing to help you center, be present, and connect with yourself. And I would encourage you to practice within your own level of comfort. So if there's anything I offer that doesn't feel right in your body, please don't force. I am actually working with an injury myself, so I will definitely give lots of modifications if you happen to have some tender spots in your body as well. And I would suggest that we start lying down, and you can lie just on your yoga mat or on the ground. But if you have a blanket, it may be nice to have one that you fold double and then another time, and then fold it like an accordion zigzag. So you have a flat, long blanket and put that lengthwise on your mat. And you can come sit in front of it. So your buttocks will be on your mat or on the floor, and then drape your spine over the blanket. So your spine is supported and your shoulders are gently falling off the blanket on either side. And you can bring your feet a little wider than your hips, knees together. And perhaps you'd like to just pull the blanket up a little bit in the crease of your neck, not to raise the head, but just to feel supported there under your neck. And then your arms can rest by your sides or on your belly. And you're welcome to close your eyes if you like. And just give yourself a moment to arrive. Maybe you came rushing to this practice. Maybe you've had a really busy day. Or if you're practicing with the recording in the morning, maybe you have a busy day ahead. And so give yourself a moment to slow down. To settle into this posture on the ground. Become aware of your body. And notice if you can feel your feet touching the ground. And notice if you can feel your knees touching each other. Notice if you can feel your buttocks on the ground. Can you feel the support of the blanket under your spine or the floor under your spine? Can you feel the back of your head resting? And if your arms are by your sides, bring your hands to rest on your lower belly. And then see if you can feel the movement of your belly under your hands as you breathe. You may notice the belly expanding on your inhale. And then the belly relaxing on the exhale. And if you notice that your belly is doing the reverse, perhaps you're pulling the belly in when you inhale and press it out as you exhale. See if it's possible to reverse that. And so as you inhale through the nose, the belly expands like a balloon. And then as you exhale through your nose, the belly relaxes. And see if you can find a gentle rhythm. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose where your belly rises and falls. Slowing down and deepening the breath in this way stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, part of the nervous system that is responsible for relaxation, part of the nervous system that supports your immune system, proper digestion. So by simply deepening and slowing down the breath, you can pull yourself out of this fight or flight mode, the stress state that we're in so often. And just a few more breaths. And then take one more nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And perhaps you'd like to set an intention for this practice. How would you like to feel at the end of this class? And then slowly allow your hands to come by your sides and roll carefully to one side and use a hand to press yourself up to a seated position. And you can sit on the folded blanket if you like. You can sit on your heels, maybe with a cushion between your buttocks and your heels. You can sit cross-legged, however you are comfortable, and finding a way that your spine can be straight without too much effort. I recommend sitting on something so that the hips are higher than your knees, which makes it easier for the spine to find an upright position. And then bring your palms together, interlace your fingers, wrists are together, and perhaps also your elbows if you can, and begin to rotate the hands, loosening the wrists. So if you do a lot of typing on the computer or even on your phone, it's a nice way to loosen forearms and the wrist joints. And then going in the opposite direction, noticing that that may be a little tricky. And notice if you're still breathing here. And then pause the movement. Keep your fingers interlaced. Press your palms away from you. Your arms are at shoulder height. I'll turn to the side. And then press your upper back to the back. So you're round your upper back, pressing hands away from your chest as you exhale. And then as you inhale, lift the hands up towards the ceiling, palms up. Elbows can be slightly bent. As you exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back, rolling shoulders back, maybe straightening your arms, lift the chest slightly. And as you exhale again, round upper back, press your palms away, interlacing fingers. Inhale, hands up. Widen your chest. Exhale, hands behind, interlace fingers, shoulders roll back, maybe straighten your arms, just lift. And we'll do this a few more times. So you exhale, palms press away, round upper back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands behind, interlace, arms reach back, just lift. And 2 more times like this. See if you can find your breath here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up and exhale, hands behind, interlace fingers, shoulders roll back, extending the arms, lift the chest, and then see if you can stay here just for a few breaths. Keeping your throat soft rather than dropping the head back. And take 1 more breath. And on your exhale, release your hands. Let your hands rest on your legs. Either close your eyes or gaze down to the ground and take a moment to just notice the effects of these simple movements. And as you open your eyes, on your inhale, turn your chin to your right shoulder. And on your exhale, turn your chin all the way over your left shoulder. Inhale, chin to the right shoulder. And exhale to the left. Continuing to move from side to side, breathing in and out through the nose. And imagine that your chin is sliding over a tabletop. So the chin moves in a horizontal line. Maybe slowing down a little bit more. And 1 more inhale to the right. And exhale to the left. Bringing your chin back to center. Inhale your ear to your right shoulder. And exhale your ear to your left shoulder. Inhale to the right. And exhale to the left. So your shoulder and your ear are clearly not going to touch. So maybe your head doesn't even move very far. Don't force it. Just a gentle stretch for the muscles in the side of the neck. 1 more to each side. And then come back to center. As you inhale, lift your chin without dropping the head all the way back. And as you exhale, bring your chin down, lengthening the back of the neck so as if you're making a triple chin here, rather than dropping the head. Inhale, just lifting chin, and exhale, lower the chin. Keeping the neck long without dropping the head all the way back or all the way forward. Inhale up and exhale down. One more. And coming back to center. Last one, imagine you're making circles with your nose in the space in front of you. Rotating the nose and the chin, let your jaw be nice and relaxed. And reverse. And then coming back to center, pausing here, either close your eyes or gaze to the ground and notice the effect of these really simple movements. Sometimes simple is much more effective than really big, complicated movements. And as you open your eyes, if they were closed, bring your hands to your shoulders and then bring your elbows forward and up and back behind. So making circles here. And rather than focusing on the shoulders, can you let the elbows draw big circles all the way forward, up, and then back as far as you can without forcing. The shoulder blades get some movement too. And reverse, elbows go back, up and forward. And as we continue, notice your breath and welcome Nemo onto the stage. My little guy. And two more circles. And then release that. Bring your hands down. Again, close your, your eyes for a moment or gaze to the floor. Gathering your awareness back into your body, noticing your breath. And then as you open your eyes, come to your hands and knees. And you may like to place a folded blanket under your knees. I do like that just to have a little extra padding under the kneecaps. And if you're wearing socks like I am, this may be a good time to take them off so that you have a little more grip. We'll start with your knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. And then turn your hands so your fingers turn out and back, both hands. You may bring your hands a little closer to your knees than they were. So hands are turned. And then lean your hips back a little bit so you can stretch the forearms. Again, if you do a lot of computer work, this is a really nice way to open the wrist joints. And no, don't force this. This can be quite intense. And then coming back, turn your hands. Curl your toes. And then walk your hands to your knees and come to sit on your heels. The toes are curled under. You may have to help your little toes coming forward as well. If this is excruciating, if the soles of your feet are very tight, just come up away from your heels a little bit. Let's see if you can keep your toes tucked. And so stretching the soles of the feet is really great to create space in the whole back line of the body, the calves, the hamstrings, even along the spine. And as you inhale, excuse me, inhale, reach your arms out and up. And as you exhale, bring your hands down. Inhale, arms out and up. And exhale down. 2 more, out and up on your inhale. And exhale. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands back to the floor, uncurl the toes. And then you may like to shake your heels a little from side to side to release that intense sensation there. And then as you inhale, round your spine, let your head hang, press the floor away. As you exhale, arch your back, sits bones lift. Only a slight lift of the chin here. Inhale, round your back. And exhale, arch. And just a few more times like this, really simple, rounding and arching the back, creating some mobility in your spine. Inhale to round. And exhale when you arch. 1 more. And then going back to neutral. Curl your toes. We'll add a little movement to this. So on your inhale now, arch your back. As you exhale, lift your hips into a very short downward facing dog. Your knees stay bent, your hands and feet don't move. Inhale, knees come down again, arch your back into a cow pose. And as you exhale, let your buttocks come to your heels, head towards the floor, toes stay tucked. You just bend your elbows, hands stay in place. Inhale again to this cow pose with the arched back. Exhale, lift your hips, feet and hands stay, knees stay bent. Inhale, knees down, cow pose, arch your back. Exhale, head to the floor. It's a modified child pose. Again, inhale, cow pose, arch your back. Exhale, downward dog, hips come up. So all this time, your hand and feet stay in the same place. Inhale, cow, knees down. Exhale, child, head down. Inhale, cow, arch your back. Exhale, down dog, hips up. 1 more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, knees down. And exhale, child pose, where you untuck your toes and you extend the arms, rest your head on the floor or on the folded blanket. Pausing for a moment, letting your heels drop, your buttocks drop to your heels. They don't have to touch. On your inhale, come onto your knees. Your arms reach out to the sides and up overhead. On your exhale, arch your back, pull your elbows into your waist, looking slightly up. Inhale, straighten up, arms reach up. Exhale, arms sweep around you, buttocks towards your heels, diving to the floor into a child pose, arms come out in front. Inhale to your hands and knees. Curl your toes. Exhale to a downward dog. Hips up, knees stay slightly bent. Inhale to your knees. Exhale, child pose. Uncurl your toes. Head comes down. Inhale to your knees. Arms reach out and up. Straighten up the spine. Exhale, arch your back, elbows pull into your waist, looking slightly up. Inhale, straighten up, arms reach up. Exhale, diving forward, arms reach back behind, coming forward to the floor, head down, child's pose. Inhale, hands and knees, curl your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog, knees slightly bent. Inhale to your knees. And exhale, child's pose, buttocks to your heels, head to the floor or a blanket. Take a few breaths here. Just noticing the breath going in and out through your nose. And then on your next inhale, come back to your hands and knees, curl your toes. On your exhale, lift your hips up again into a downward dog with the knees slightly bent. And then walk your hands towards your feet. Keep your knees bent quite a bit or maybe a little bit so that you are in a forward fold. Let your head hang. So no forcing here. You can bend your knees as much as you like, as much as you need. And keeping your knees bent, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Head is the last to come up, all the way up to standing. And once you're upright, pause there. And either close your eyes or gaze down to the ground, noticing how your body feels right now. As you open your eyes, on your inhale, bend your knees, coming into a chair pose. Send your sits bones way back behind you. Arms can stay at shoulder height or come up a little higher. Weight is in your heels. On your exhale, fold forward, but keep your knees bent. Inhale, come back to that chair pose. Chest comes up, arms can stay at shoulder height or a little higher. And on your exhale, pull your belly button towards your spine. Inhale, straighten up, arms reach up. Exhale, arms by your sides. We'll do this again. Inhale to chair pose. Bend your knees, sits bones way back, weight in your heels. Exhale, fold forward, keep knees bent, head releases. Inhale, chair pose, arms shoulder height or higher. Exhale, belly button back to your spine. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, arms by your sides. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, belly button back to spine. Inhale up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, belly button to spine. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, arms by your sides. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold forward. Let your hands come down towards the floor. Let your head hang. Walk your hands out and forward. Maybe your feet back slightly. Coming into a downward facing dog with your knees slightly bent, hips up towards the ceiling, sits bones reaching to the sky. Hands pressing down into the floor. Nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, lower your knees to the floor. Uncurl the toes, child's pose, buttocks to your heels. head to the floor or a blanket. Notice your breath. And as you inhale, come back to your hands and knees. Knees are under your hips and hands are under your shoulders. And then extend the right leg behind you. The toes are curled under. And you can press back through the heel to find a nice stretch in that right calf. Maybe push away a little bit from your hands. And then release that so your shoulders come straight over the wrists. And then on your inhale, reach the left arm forward. Press the top of your left foot down so you could stay here. And you may notice that already this requires some effort. It requires attention. So notice the right hand, the left knee, the left top of the foot on the floor. Then maybe you want to bring the right leg parallel to the floor, not higher than the hip. So take a breath here. And if you can, now on your exhale, bend your right knee, reach the left hand around and find your right foot, if you can. And then press the foot back, just to stretch the right quadricep. And take another breath or two here. And then release the heel to your buttock, release the foot, hand down, knee down, back to table pose. And then extend the left leg behind you. Toes are curled under, and then press into your hands, reach the heel back so you can find stretch in the left calf. Noticing your breath. And then release that. Push through the heel, off shoulders over your wrists. As you inhale, reach the right arm forward, parallel to the floor. And then notice again, left hand on the floor, right knee, top of the right foot. And you could stay here or bring the left leg parallel, foot as high as your hip. You could stay here or bend the left knee, reach around with the right hand, find your foot if you can, and then press the foot back to stretch the left quadriceps. Take another breath. And release the heel to the buttock, release your hand, knee, and hand back to the floor. And then come onto your knees. I'm just turning around for a moment, you can see it better. Extend your right leg out to the side. So your left hip stays straight over your left knee and the right foot is in line with your right hip. Nice straight spine. On your inhale, raise the left arm out and up. And as you exhale, reach over the extended leg. And so you don't have to go very far here. So see if you can imagine this line from the left knee all the way up the side of your body into the left armpit, the left fingertips. Nice deep breaths. You may notice that it's a little more challenging to breathe deeply when you're stretching sideways. And on your next inhale, come up. As you exhale, lower your left hand to the floor, or you can use a prop if you have a block or a book or a sturdy cushion. Press your right foot into the floor, then reach the right arm over your head so it makes a line with your leg. And imagine you press the right foot away from the right fingertips, so you're reaching long. Nice big stretch here. Notice your breath. Gently draw your belly button to your spine to stabilize the lower back. Take another breath in. As you exhale, bring your right hand to your right hip and then bend the left elbow a little bit and spring off the hand to come up. Bring your knee to the floor. Switch the prop if you have one and extend the left leg. Again, finding this alignment of the right hip straight over the right knee, the left foot in line with your left hip. As you inhale, right arm out and up. On your exhale, reach over to the side. So rather than thinking up and going down, think about lengthening that whole side. Notice your breath. Notice if you're efforting so much that you're tightening your shoulders and your face. So see if you can soften that. And as you inhale, come up. Exhale, bring your hand down to the floor, or if you have a prop. Press your left foot into the floor and then reach the left arm up and over in line with the leg. So you have this long line to stretch. Notice your breath. One more breath in. Exhale, bring your left hand to your left hip, then bend the right hand elbow and then spring off that hand. Bring your knee back down. Hips back to your heels. Extend your arms into a child's pose. Head to the floor or a blanket. Notice your breath. And slowly roll up. And then bring your feet around and out in front of you. Bending your knees. And then pull the knees into your chest and hold your feet from this outside. Slide your hands under your feet. And then keep your belly glued to your thighs. Then walk your feet away from you as you hold your feet. Keep your belly on your thighs. And this is a little bit tricky because we like to think that we're more flexible than we actually are. So wherever you notice that your belly comes off your thighs, you're going to stop. And I'm noticing because of my injury that for me, this is the point where I need to stop. Then I will let go of my feet, keep my spine exactly where it is. And then I can slowly straighten the legs, perhaps, or maybe keep them slightly bent. So the spine is nice and long. You can reach through the heels. Tuck the chin slightly. Taking a few deep breaths. So you truly do not have to have your nose on your knees to get a good stretch here. Take one more breath. And on your next inhale, walk your hands back, straightening up the spine, straightening out your legs. Then reach your arms out in front. Then round your lower back. Nice strong leg. See if you can slowly, slowly roll your spine down towards the floor, one vertebra at a time. Keeping the spine round until eventually your head comes onto the floor. Then reach your arms overhead. Maybe arch your lower back a little bit. Give yourself a nice full body stretch. And then release your arms by your sides. And just for a moment, close your eyes. Just giving yourself permission to rest. Just for a moment, letting the effects of this practice settle into your body. There's nothing you need to do right now. Just a few moments of constructive rest. Notice if you can allow your body to become really heavy. And slowly take a couple of nice deep breaths in and out through your nose. And then a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And slowly bend your knees, draw them into your chest. Perhaps you'd like to circle your ankles a few times here. And then roll carefully to your side. And then use one hand to press yourself up into a seated position just for a moment. You can sit cross-legged or you can sit on your heels, whatever works. Closing your eyes for another moment. Notice if your body feels any different right now. Notice if you can feel your breath. Notice if your mind is a little more calm. And then you may like to join me, bringing your palms together in front of your chest, bowing your head, so we can offer the benefits of this practice to all living beings on the planet. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with us. I'm Marije with Studio B, and we hope to see you another time soon.